In the quiet suburb of Maplewood, Ohio, where autumn leaves painted the streets in hues of gold and crimson, an old soldier named Harlan Reed sat by his living room window, staring at the world he could no longer fully reach. His wheelchair gleamed under the dim lamplight, a constant reminder of the IED that had stolen his mobility during his last tour in Afghanistan. At 62, Harlan felt like a prisoner in his own home, the front steps mocking him every time he longed for a simple walk to the mailbox. But on this crisp September morning, as he watched a moving truck pull up next door, a faint spark of curiosity stirred in his chest, a spark that would one day lead him down a path of unexpected freedom, built not by machines of war, but by the steady hands of compassion. Harlan had always been a man of few words, forged in the fires of duty and discipline. After his honorable discharge, he returned to the modest ranch-style house his late wife Sarah had loved, the one with the wraparound porch where they used to sip coffee at dawn. Sarah's passing from cancer 5 years earlier had left him hollow, and the loss of his legs amplified that void. He managed with deliveries and occasional visits from his grown daughter in Cleveland, but pride kept him from asking for more. The VA had promised modifications, yet bureaucracy moved slower than his memories of marching drills. Days blurred into nights of solitude, punctuated only by the hum of his television and the ache in his phantom limbs. Next door, the new arrival was Lydia Barnes, a 38-year-old elementary school teacher with a heart as wide as the Midwest plains. She had relocated from Chicago after her husband's sudden death in a car accident, seeking a fresh start for herself and her 10-year-old son, Cody. Lydia carried boxes with determined grace, her auburn hair tied back, while Cody chased their golden retriever, Buddy, around the yard. They were starting over, piecing together a life from fragments of grief, much like Harlan, though neither knew it yet. Lydia noticed the elderly man in the window on their first day, his gaze distant yet piercing. She waved, but he turned away, unwilling to expose his vulnerabilities. As weeks turned into months, winter's chill settled over Maplewood, blanketing the lawns in snow. Lydia's routine involved shoveling her driveway before school, often glancing at Harlan's untouched path. One icy morning, she saw him attempt the steps in his wheelchair, only to wheel back inside defeated. Her heart twisted. She remembered her own father's struggles with Parkinson's before he passed. That evening, after tucking Cody into bed, Lydia baked a batch of oatmeal cookies, her grandmother's recipe, and crossed the yard. Knocking softly on Harlan's door, she held the plate like an olive branch. The door creaked open, revealing Harlan's weathered face, etched with lines of battles won and lost. He eyed her suspiciously, his voice gruff. "What do you want?" Lydia smiled gently, introducing herself and offering the cookies. "Just thought you might like something warm on a cold night." Harlan hesitated, then accepted, muttering a thanks before closing the door. It was a small gesture, but it planted a seed. Over the following days, Cody began waving to Harlan from the bus stop, his innocent enthusiasm chipping at the veteran's walls. Harlan found himself waving back, a reluctant smile tugging at his lips. Challenges arose as the bond tentatively formed. Harlan's pride was a formidable barrier. He snapped at Lydia one afternoon when she offered to clear his snow. "I don't need pity from strangers." His words stung, echoing his inner turmoil, the fear of becoming a burden, the ghosts of comrades who never made it home. Lydia retreated, hurt but undeterred. Her own life wasn't without hurdles. Balancing a full-time job, single parenthood, and mounting bills left her exhausted. Cody's school counselor mentioned his occasional outbursts, remnants of losing his father, and Lydia worried she wasn't enough. Yet in Harlan's isolation, she saw a mirror of her loneliness, a chance to heal through helping. An emotional twist came during a fierce February storm. Power lines snapped under the weight of ice, plunging the neighborhood into darkness. Lydia and Cody huddled by their fireplace, but she fretted about Harlan alone next door. Bundling up, she trudged through the drifts with a thermos of hot soup. Inside Harlan's home, the cold had seeped in, and he sat shivering, his generator failing. Lydia's arrival was a lifeline. She helped start a fire in his seldom-used hearth, sharing stories to pass the hours. For the first time, Harlan opened up about Sarah, how her laughter had been his anchor through deployments. Lydia shared about her husband Tom, a firefighter whose bravery inspired her daily. In that flickering light, barriers crumbled, revealing shared scars of loss and resilience. Spring brought renewal, but also a harsh reality for Harlan. A letter from the VA denied his ramp request due to funding cuts, crushing his hopes. He confided in Lydia over backyard coffee one mild afternoon, his voice breaking. "Feels like the world's forgotten folks like me." Lydia's eyes welled. She couldn't stand by. Unbeknownst to him, she began planning. Drawing on her teaching network, she reached out to local carpenters and veterans groups. Cody, inspired by his mother's determination, drew sketches of a ramp, his child's imagination adding whimsical touches like flower boxes along the sides. The act of kindness unfolded unexpectedly. One Saturday, as Harlan dozed in his chair, the sound of hammers and saws roused him. Peering out, he saw Lydia directing a small crew, neighbors he barely knew, a hardware store owner donating materials, and even Cody handing out tools. They were building a sturdy wooden ramp up his steps, wide enough for his wheelchair, with gentle slopes and handrails. Harlan wheeled to the door, emotions surging. "Why would you do this?" Lydia knelt to his level, her voice steady. "Because you're not forgotten, Harlan. You're family now." Tears streamed down his face as memories flooded back, of camaraderie in the barracks, of Sarah's unwavering support. The ramp wasn't just wood and nails, it was a bridge to independence, a testament to human connection. By sunset, it was complete, and Harlan rolled down it for the first time, feeling the breeze on his skin like a long-lost friend. The neighborhood gathered, clapping as he reached the sidewalk, Cody running to hug him. In that moment, Harlan's heart mended a fraction more, and Lydia found purpose beyond her grief. As summer bloomed, the ramp became a symbol of their budding friendship. Harlan taught Cody about history through his war stories, sanitized for young ears, while Lydia invited him to barbecues, where laughter echoed once more in his yard. Challenges lingered, Harlan's physical therapy sessions were grueling, and Lydia faced a promotion denial at work, but their mutual support turned obstacles into shared victories. An unexpected twist came when Harlan, using his new mobility, spotted Cody's bike tangled in a ditch after a fall. Wheeling over, he guided the boy home, bandaging his scraped knee with steady hands. It was Harlan's turn to give back, solidifying their bond. In the end, the ramp stood as more than an access point, it was a pathway to renewed life. Harlan volunteered at the local VFW, sharing his story to inspire other vets, while Lydia and Cody flourished in their adopted community. The touching tale of a neighbor's quiet heroism reminded everyone that kindness often arrives unannounced, transforming isolation into belonging. If this story of compassion and resilience touched your heart, remember that small acts can build bridges in someone's life. Hit that like button if it inspired you, subscribe to Pure Kindness Stories for more uplifting tales, and share this video with a friend who needs a reminder of hope. Together, we can spread the power of empathy one story at a time.